Good evening, and welcome once again to another Sunday night, a big night in. Great to have so many of you with us. Okay, so to this evening's guest, somebody that needs probably very little intro to so many of you. She's not just a senior group leader in UW, she is a 300 plus club member. Which she hit a few weeks back. I'm sure she's had lots and lots of recognition and accolade for that. And she's always great when we see her on stage. She's a part of the College of Excellence training team as well as being a mummy. We'll hear a bit more about that, and a TV and theatre actress of some repute. So, Claire, can you hear us?
I can. Good evening, everybody. Noswaith dda.
I'm pretty sure that was Welsh for something nice, yeah?
It was, definitely. It was good evening in the language of heaven, as we call it.
Lovely to have you with us tonight, Claire. As I said, a senior group leader, a 300 plus club member, and just an all-round good egg. You know, there's never, everybody has a positive word about you and Mel, we
Oh, that's nice. Thank you.
Well, it's good to have you with us because your story, you'd think, oh, well, actress, TV, she's obviously confident. So this would be a breeze for her. But let's start at the beginning. What got you involved to start with?
Well, I was actually looking for something at the time. Being a self-employed actress meant that I spent lots of time resting, and when I wasn't working as an actress, I was doing supply teaching because that was my job in a previous life. Before I was an actress, I was a secondary school teacher. So both jobs didn't give me a regular income. They didn't give me sick pay, they didn't give me a pension, and I wasn't called in at 7 a.m. to go into school. I didn't have any work, and I was in my mid-30s and I was getting really stressed out financially. I was worrying about my mortgage, this month, next month, let alone my pension. So I was one of those people that were looking for something. We are out there, right? We do exist as your two people and best friends, Gareth and Sharon. They'd just been introduced to Utility Warehouse. They were like brand new partners. They didn't know what they were doing. They'd just been on training. I was the first person that Gareth had done a presentation to. And basically, he invited me round to their house one night. Have a look at this. I think it'll be just up your street. And that's where it began, on that Saturday night, drunk at their kitchen table, where Sharon told me it was a pyramid, but basically a legal one. So I said, yes, sign me up, I'm in. And that's how it started.
So that's everything you want, isn't it, in a supportive wife from Gareth's perspective. He's excited about his new business. He tells you about it, and she says it's a pyramid thing, but I think it's a legal one.
Yeah, absolutely. And I joined. This is all about no laugh. We'll just put it down to experience and we'll just move on. And literally, I remember back then filling in the massive application form and getting my debit card out. Yeah. And there it began. And then I was a bit of a nightmare prospect, it was a good prospect, but a nightmare newbie. From there on in, I didn't have a great start, far from it.
So when you say you didn't have a great start, put that into real numbers. I mean,
I joined, then Gareth couldn't even get me to do the online training. He would text me going, oh, have you done that online training? And then you had to send a passport photo off for your ID cards because it wasn't like digital. We didn't even have a website. Now, this wasn't 1982. This was like 2011. She was like, oh, have you done that photo? And I was like, oh God, I haven't been to a photo booth. Where'd you find a photo booth? And then he was like, you've got to get on this training. So I finally booked myself on to Getting Started Skills, which was about 12 hours, 374 PowerPoint slides. Wes, remember that? Okay, yeah. Again, this wasn't very long ago. And I really enjoyed the training, and I thought, wow, this could be a really good thing. I thought this is going to be a breeze. I love talking to people. I love saving money. You know, everyone's got bills. This is going to be a cinch. This is going to be easy. And then what happened was I did that fateful thing of not sticking to the system, because I thought, oh, I'm a teacher. You know, I can make my own presentation. I can make my own hat. And I didn't stick to the system. And I was very excited. So my enthusiasm was up here, but my skill level was down here. And I basically, if I had 30 seconds with you, Wes, I would just start talking and I wouldn't stop. And I know you find this difficult to believe, but I literally just vomited, verbal vomit over everybody I knew, everything I knew about Utility Warehouse, which wasn't very much. So much so that I called it, even about like 3 weeks in after training, I still called it Utilities Warehouse, okay? Which I know you love. That's one of your favourite things, Wes, isn't it?
Always happy when people refer to it like that.
I was like, I'm doing this thing, it's Utilities Warehouse. And no, I didn't even get the name right. And my father thought I was working for Carphone Warehouse. And then my uncle John, who's a lovely man, but he's not the brightest, he said to me about a week later, he said, oh, your father's told me you're working for that carpet warehouse in Porth, because where my parents live, there's this big carpet warehouse. So my father thought I was working for the Carphone Warehouse. My uncle John thought I was working for the local carpet warehouse. I called the Utilities Warehouse. I just spoke to everybody. I remember going to my niece's birthday party, and just everybody was there, all my brother's friends. I literally, you know, there I was pinning people against the wall in this poor working man's club, just telling everybody everything I knew about Utility Warehouse. So I didn't use intrigue. I wasn't very subtle, and hence I didn't go very far. So it took me a massive 3.5 months to get qualified. And back then, qualified was 6 customers. And then that's another story again. So it wasn't great. It wasn't the best start.
Yeah. And you've talked in the past about your time in the closet. A little bit about that.
So when I did a bit of vomiting over everybody, and then I thought, this is wrong. This is going nowhere. So I kind of thought, I better get back. I better reverse this. And then I just didn't tell anybody. So I went from one extreme to the other, which is what I tend to do, as you can tell, and get very excited about things. And then I get a little bit sad when it isn't, you know, if things don't go right. I think, oh God. So I was really despondent, and I just was straight in that Utility Warehouse closet. And I didn't want to tell. I was afraid about what they would think. And I was afraid of them judging me. And it probably started with my dad, you know, from the Carphone Warehouse comment. And he was like, you know, what are you doing? You know, so I built myself up to go and tell them that I'd started this business. And you know, we sat at the kitchen table, and I was like, oh, you know, I got this thing to tell you. And I don't know. And I just sort of came out with it, and I said, right, you know, I've become a partner with the Utility Warehouse. And it took me, you know, a while to sort of get into the habit then of coming back out to the closet and talking to people about it. And the only thing that really did that for me was attending my first major event, because, you know, people don't join you on their kitchen table or your kitchen table or over the screen as we to their first event. You may have filled out a form, whether it's a massive one or an online one, but no one joins, Wes, do they, until they go to that first event.
Yeah, I think that's the opportunity where they get to see other people are doing it, other people like them, other people who aren't like them, hear the testimonials and stuff. And of course, I mean, obviously right now we can't be doing great big events in person, but we do have a great big event coming up in 2 weeks from now, I think it is. Is it 2 weeks?
Is that all it is? 2 weeks away?
2 weeks, yeah, for MAD. So my suspicion is that everybody that's on these calls are the type of people that have booked. But if you haven't yet booked for MAD, please do. Please do book right away, especially if we've got newer people on tonight. Make sure you pop on the partner portal later and book for MAD. Because yes, it's there. You know, there's going to be probably over 100 faces people are going to see in 2.25 hours from doing this. And so that happened for you, yeah?
Absolutely. So, I was like 3.5 months into the business. All my friends had said no to me, all my family. Consequently, well, not consequently, but by the way, my brother and sister are still not customers to this day and never have been. And it just reminds me of that phrase that Joanna Lumley used on the previous video, before the new one we've had, where she says, you start small with the people you know and you grow big with the people you don't. And God, that is so true. And I wish I'd known that then, because, when my nearest and dearest didn't join. So I went through like being excited, being deflated, being out of the closet too much, getting back in the UW closet. And then, my upline said, you need to go to this event, because I'd quit, basically, I'd quit. I had friends saying, what are you doing this for? You've been to university, you're a teacher, you got 2 degrees, why are you selling gas and electric? And I threw the towel in. My brother made me cry after the appointment that I did with him. Seriously, I was driving home with tears thinking, well, I just can't do this. And then I got persuaded to go to this event. Didn't want to go, by the way, said no several times, but he kept persisting with me until eventually I gave in. And I went to MAD 2011. So I was 3.5 months into the business, no distributors, no customers, no belief, wasn't expecting much, went to shut somebody up. And I sat there and I swear within half an hour, it was like ping, 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 ping. And this is why they call it, we call it having your light bulb moment. Because literally I was blown away by the magnitude, more than anything, the people and the scale of it, let alone you and Robin on the stage, giving her your best welly. And I just remember sitting there thinking, wow, just seeing ordinary people crossing the stage who'd achieved extraordinary things. And I just thought, well, why not me? If he can do it, if she can do it, shy people, no disrespect to anybody, but I just thought, wow, why can't I do it? And I was buzzing, going back in the car. I couldn't wait to get started. And I started the next day with my neighbours, because remember now, I'd blown everybody out. And I went to my neighbour and I knocked the door and I said, Jill, I've started this business, to help me when I haven't got any acting work. I said, I've got to do this presentation. And here it was, the little black book, right? Instead of the lovely presentation we got online now, we sat someone down and we talked them through our little black book. And literally, Jill and Brian were my first customers, and they're still my customers to this day. And I couldn't believe it. When I got to the end of the presentation and did the quote, I was there for like 4.5 hours. and I said, so, what do you think? Are you sure? I couldn't believe it. I was like, I nearly talked him out. I was like, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? And I remember ringing Phone a Friend. They weren't called Phone a Friend then. I don't know what they were called. Ringing like them about 5 times on that appointment, because there was no mentorship. There was nothing like that. We didn't have mentoring then. And that was my first customer, but it was all down to go into the event, because events change lives. And here's a person where an event changed their life. So as well as yourself, please, if you've got one team member or you've got 201 team members, please urge them to just go to the event, book their MAD tickets, and just get to see other people, ordinary people who've achieved extraordinary things.
Yeah. So you didn't have the greatest of starts, as we've heard, and I know there'll be a lot of people on here that will connect with that. You kept going once you decided to get to take it serious. What you're doing this for, you've been to uni. Was that going through your head as well, that you were like, why am I doing this? I'm a professional in these two spaces. Because I know we're going to have people on here particularly, and we're going to have a lot over the coming months, who never dreamed that they'd be leaving their job or career or business and then the pandemic had a status barrier.
Do you know what? It was It was going to the event, because remember, I'd done what most people do. I'd quit, okay? I'd done appointments. I didn't get anywhere. People ridiculed me. People questioned me. People told me it was a pyramid. And we didn't have as many of the badges of honour like we've got now, like so many witch things. We didn't have Joanna Lumley. We didn't have any of that. We had a black book, right? And so I did quit. I quit, and it was going to the event. And I remember at the event, Andrew Lindsay talking about, there was the promotion that the people who gather the most customers in the next 6 months would go to the Olympics. So I set a goal, and this is the important thing. It was like, I didn't know it at the time, so I didn't really know what goal setting was. But at that event, that was a goal that I really wanted to achieve. So it's about setting goals that are meaningful to you, having a why story that's meaningful to you. Because if you don't know why you're doing it, you can't expect anybody else to know why you're doing it or want to join, because people don't join what we do, they join why we're doing it. Yeah. And I guess it was the event and remembering those people and wanting to get on the Olympic promotion and really thinking to myself, I can't go back it can't be worse than where I am now. I didn't have any money, I wasn't destitute, don't get me wrong. I wasn't on the breadline, but I didn't have enough money. My parents were always bailing me out. I was worried about my mortgage, and I just thought, I've got to do something, because for things to change, you've got to make some changes, because if nothing changes, nothing changes. And I know they're cliches, but they're cliches because they're bloody true. That's why they're cliches. And, my life was that cliche. And I just remember at the event meeting people and people saying, right, you've got to get to, somebody on stage said, you've got to get to the op every month. It was called an op then. Was it called an op? The cop. It was called a cop.
Yeah.
It's called a cop, then it was an op, and I was a vop. and somebody said, you've got to go to this open night every month. And I thought, right, I'm going to do that. So what I did was, for some reason, thank God, I just listened to the successful people and followed what they did. So someone successful on the stage said, go to the cop. So I went to the cop. At the cop, I met Karen Morgan, Derek Thomas, and I saw them at the front of the room. So I would go and ask them questions. And I asked Derek, can I come to your meetings? Because I was on my own. I had nobody. I was like an in-betweener. I had nobody. I was this random person on my own in the cop, sitting on my own when everybody else was in these teams. And poor Derek Thomas took pity over me, and love him. His life's never been the same since. And I just remember thinking, I've just got to make this thing work. And then it became a matter of, I just wanted to prove people wrong. I thought, bugger you, those people that told me what am I doing? It's a scam, it's a pyramid. I thought, I'm going to show you buggers that this is going to work for me. And I just plugged in, and I enjoyed I'm a people person. I loved going to the cop. Then somebody invited me to a team meeting, Derek, and I met people. And I got better because I asked questions and I made loads of notes, short pencils better than a long memory. And then I started to implement what I learn in these things in my presentations. And I started to get better, and I just practiced. I wasn't special, I wasn't gifted, but I guess I was tenacious, and maybe that comes from being an actress. Being an actress, it's a lot of rejection. You got to have tenacity and a thick skin. I go to a lot of auditions. Most of them I don't get. And I guess maybe that served me well. Yeah. And I just remember Derek Thomas saying to me once, he said, you've got to have a temporary loss of self-esteem, because I did worry about what people thought of me. I did. And don't forget, I had all that negativity in those first 3 months. My brother really upset me on a point, with my best friend saying, what are you doing? And I carried that along with me, and it's those voices in your head, isn't it? Which what I remember you saying, Wes, in an event, your success is down to which voice you listen to in your head. The one saying, go on, speak to that person, give it a go, what's the worst that can happen? Or the one that goes, oh no, you better not. What if they think it's beneath you? What if they think that? What if it's, and I started listening to the voice that went, go on, give it a go on. And the more I did that, and the more I stepped out to my comfort zone, because lovely place, nothing ever grows there. The more I stepped out, the more successful I became, because, the only thing that separates successful people from everybody else is that they are just willing to do the things that other people won't do. And I just started doing that. I started, as John Addison says, we've got to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And I know that's difficult, and we know it's hard, and we wish it could be different. But, whereas when you start stepping out of that comfort zone, wow, your life starts to change, and it's never the same again. I'm not sure if I answered your question, but I went off on a tangent. You've got to put me in, right?
I can't remember what the question was now, so long. But
sorry, I have a drink now and shut up. Water, by the way.
No, but you're absolutely right. I often say that, actually the truth is successful people and unsuccessful people dislike the same things.
Yeah.
Like if you're successful, you still dislike rejection, and you still dislike turning up at someone's front door and they're hiding, or getting on a Zoom appointment and they don't turn up and then they don't answer that. You dislike all of those things.
Absolutely.
You just do it anyway, and that is a huge difference. So you were an actress. Now, many of us will have seen you most recently in Stella on Sky TV, where you were starring alongside Ruth Jones. There's, I think, you and Ruth on the left there.
Yeah, Ruth there dressed as Nessa, of course, her character on Gavin and Stacey.
Cool. Yeah.
The most famous character, probably.
Yes. And then there's you in the middle is that Cheryl's nurse?
Cheryl Sprague, yes.
Yeah. And then on the right there in Panto with, I think that's Robin Brooks and Thomas, isn't it? Yeah.
There's Lyndon. Yeah, it is. That was mad, 2014.
So, you're an actress, but, I might be wrong, but they're not filming Coronation Street and EastEnders and Holby City and all the other stuff right now. They haven't been for months, have they?
No.
So there are, going to be lots of actors and actresses, including people that we would very much recognise, who are potentially, taking government subsidy or were, trying to get a job in B&Q or something like that. Would that have been your story right now?
Absolutely, and I've pondered and thought about this so much on lockdown, and I've said to Mel, and I've said to my parents and my other families, and they've said to me, my God, thank God for your utility warehouse business. What would I be doing without that? Well, I wouldn't be living in this house for starters. I wouldn't be where I am. I'd be on universal credit. My parents would be paying my mortgage. That's what my mother said a couple of months ago. She said, well, it'll be happening then. She said, me and your father would be paying your mortgage. And I thought, yeah, and this, it makes you go cold, makes me go, when I think about it, it makes me go goosey. I think, those sliding doors moments where Gareth, introduced me to this. He just stepped out of his comfort zone. He just mentioned it to me, and that resulted in me sitting on his kitchen table and showing me the business. What if he decided, oh no, I better not, I've only just joined, I haven't got a clue, because he was really nervous. He told me that, and I could tell, It's those sliding doors moments, or when I quit, and then, Graham got me back in by getting me to MAD, and just those little moments that just make a massive difference to your life, and how different my life would be if it wasn't for this business. And that's why I thank it every day. We don't always love it. There's days when I still think, oh God, I want to quit, and what's going on? We still get those moments when things don't go right. Like you just said, no one becomes successful without issues, doubts, problems, frustration, fear, failure, being fobbed off. But my God, I would never change the past 9 years for anything, because this business has changed my life, and it's been my saviour and my lifeboat and my saving grace for many years. But no more than now, no more than right now, when so many people I know haven't got any jobs and have no prospect of earning anything. The creative world has taken a massive hit. Famous theatres probably never opening back up again. And as you said, very famous people out of work, let alone somebody like myself. So the reality for someone like me is there, my friends, is there facing me every day, and just thank God that I decided to get my ego out of the way, learn some skills, and get good at this business. And it took me a while. I was not a natural. There are people on this call who took to it like a duck to water. That was not my story. That was not my journey. And I think people find that helpful. They find some inspiration, some solace in that when they see people like me and they're, well, she didn't have a great start. But just because you didn't have a great start doesn't mean you can't have a brilliant middle and a fantastic ending and whatever, It's down to you, isn't it? It's the decisions you make. Your life, the quality of your life right now is down to the relationships you've got and the decisions you've made. That's where you are to this moment in your life.
Yeah. And as you say, it's those small, seemingly insignificant things that we do that will make a difference to your life and to the lives of people who we introduce it to. And I think that's important to remember. So many of us get caught up on, oh, well, I asked someone and they didn't. It's like, no, like you need to be asking so many people that you forgot what that person said, because then you're going to find the gold, aren't you? You're going to find the golden nuggets who are ready for it. And then that will be the thing that changes your life and the life of the people, who you introduce. Now, one talk a lot about is about the impact of a system of, as you said before, being a student and practicing it, but also making it fun. So what kind of advice would you give to people around getting used to this new, the new world as we're in right now?
Well, the company have just done an amazing job of helping us, like they always do. And I just think it's your job. We're independent distributors, right? You've just got to practice. Get good at whatever your weaknesses are. Find somebody that's good at it, because that's what I love about this business. Help you, guide you, shine the light on and make you better. There's someone in your team, your upline, your downline, your crossline, whatever, that can help you. And you've got to buddy up. And that's a big thing. That's been a big part of my journey is buddying up with people. So I've had some of my best moments, best results when I buddied up with people. And it's about taking the onus on, like, for example, myself, I'm not great at technology. It doesn't interest me. I'm not a lover of it. And when lockdown happened, I really feared it. And I was really bad. I really struggled at the start of lockdown. I was worried about that. And and so much so that it held me back. And I just thought, right, I'm just going to have to embrace it. So I bought myself a new computer, because my old computer took about 37 minutes to even turn on. That's how bad I am at technology. And people helped me. Pauline Luxmore-Ball helped me. People helped me. They were better than me. And you just got to reach out. And you've got to just practice. That's what I used to do when I joined. When I went to events or trainings or whatever, I'd make notes and then I'd come home and I'd practice. So I'd present it out and I'd sit down and I'd go through it, and then I'd find my own way, my own rhythm, my own style, my own language. Because that's what you've got to do as well. You've got to take everything that we teach you and you've got to put your own stamp on it, because you've got to be authentic in this business, because people buy you, not the presentation or whatever format it comes in. And we've got to get grips to stuff, because if you stay stuck, you're gonna get trampled on. You're gonna get overtaken. You're gonna become extinct. And whether we like it or not, this new way, Wes, is not the new way for now. I think this is the new way, isn't it? This is the new UW way. We have found a new way that hasn't just served us for 4 months, but this is the way it's going to be now moving forward. There's loads of people in my team who don't want to do face-to-face. Like, I've been doing face-to-face since July. I couldn't wait to get back in my car and go on an appointment. But that's me. But there are people in my team go, oh, God, no, I love it. I can do it in my pajamas. I don't even have to change, But so,
I think we'll be a hybrid, won't we? We'll be face-to-face and remote. It will be both. And it means you can build a truly nationwide business.
It's just opened up more doors, isn't it? So, I got to grips with the remote presentation, some great stories and some great, this room has seen it all, this office, me swearing, me pacing back and forth, trying to get an 80-year-old to type uw.co.uk. No, not in Google. Don't put it in Google. Put it in the address bar. Well, what's the address bar? The thing at the top, and talking somebody of a certain generation through flicking through the pages and getting an energy bill. I mean, my God, you know, we've some brilliant stories, you know, of and frustrations of getting people through the online sign up. And I know we've all got them. They're absolutely brilliant. And they'll definitely be going in some speeches to come. But, you know, and I did, you know, I'll be honest with you. I know people loved it, and yeah, it's amazing, the technology, but I didn't get on with it too well. I thought to myself, well, I've got to, haven't I? What am I going to do? You know, I've got a team. I've got to lead by example. I've got to give this thing a go. But it didn't float my boat, Wes, and it wasn't for me. But I guess that's the thing, you know, you do stuff anyway. You know, you just think, well, I've got to do it. So I've got to learn. I've got to invest some time, whether I like it or not, and build on some skills, because skills pay the bills. Randy Gage said that, didn't he, a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah.
And it's so true.
So I mean, obviously it's very easy for us to get into that kind of, I'm just going to be motivated. I'm just going to motivate myself. I'm going to just read all the time, and then I'm going to be motivated, and then I'll do it. But if you haven't got the skills, that's, you know, you need a combination of both, don't you?
Absolutely. And that has always been my thing, right? So I love motivation. I love the books. I love the events. I love it, right? I eat it all up. But being a teacher as well, I guess I married the two things together, and I was always big on skills from the start. And that is definitely my teaching background, because, you know, you, in this business, you've got to become good at inviting, you know, the art of the invitation, the art of the presentation, and the art of following up. So there's a few things that we need to hone, you know, your why story, the presentation, not just flicking through it like a robot, but adding your own things in. And skills have always been big on my agenda, big in the team, like it is with Craig Casey's team. And maybe that's why we've got a healthy, growing business, because we've taught the people in our organizations the skills they need. Because it's all good and well being motivated, Wes, and being inspired, but when you're in front of a customer and they ask you, well, how does this work, how does that work, you've got to know the answers, and you've got to have a skill set behind you, and you've got to prepare your people. Otherwise, when people are not skilled up, they lose confidence and they disappear. So I've always been big on both things, but I'd say probably more towards the skill side of stuff. You
know, with that example, it always reminds me that, you know, when you get on an aeroplane, obviously,
Yes.
aeroplane, and you see the pilot there, and you say, you ready for today? And he goes, well, I'm motivated, but I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'd read a book about it, but, you know, I've never flown an airplane before, but I've read 16 books and I've watched 64 videos on YouTube on how to press all these knobs. You're not going to have much confidence in them. And it's the same with us, isn't it? We can motivate, we can inspire, but unless somebody knows how to sign up a Daffy Gold, how to work around objections. And by the way, great tip, don't handle objections, preempt them. So when somebody says to you, you know, I say to people, you know, you're probably wondering what the catch is, Wes. Well, the catch is you've got to pay your bill. With referrals, so before they get a chance to say to me, oh, well, I want to speak to them first, or, you know, I don't want to give you their number. I say, listen, I'm going to ask you for their name and number, and don't worry, I'm not going to call them until you do. So you're preempting objections before not handling them, because by then it's too late. So skills are important, and let's be honest, we've got an abundance of skills, even on lockdown. UW-Tube, College of Excellence tutorials, whatever you've got a weakness in, you can find it on the portal, or somebody in your team or somebody else's team.
Yeah, totally. So talk about referrals for a moment. I know that you've been doing really well with referrals. Well, you weren't always doing really well with referrals, I don't think, but you learned it and you pushed on. So
my theme is that I was mostly crap, and then I got better. I wasn't like quite good, and I was mostly quite rubbish at everything to do with utility warehouse, right? And then, as I said, I started to go to trainings and things like that. And I remember, you know, back to Derek. Sorry, Derek, if you're on this call, you're having an ear bashing tonight. Derek, you know, was always at the end of the COP, that's now the VOP, Or I'd go up to him, I'd see him thinking, oh God, there's that bloody woman coming up to me again, this crazy woman from the valleys. What does she want now? And I remember saying to him, right, Derek, I've seen some people, I'm going to run out. And I remember him saying, right, you've got to get good at referrals. And I was like, what's that? And he's like, well, you just ask people who else they know who'd like to see what you do and would benefit like they have. And I think he said something as simple as that. He said, get a little book, write them down. So I did that. There was no Craig Casey. Well, there was a Craig Casey, of course. He's always been around. But no, nobody knew who Craig Casey was then because he joined just before me. There was no Craig Casey training. There was no portal training. There wasn't even a portal. It was called an extranet or something like that. It was like fishing when it was something to do with fishing. It was called an extranet, whatever that meant.
Yeah, I think that sounds like an indigestion tablet.
Yeah, or something to do with fishing. And so, you know, there was no mentoring. You were out there on your own, okay? And it was a scary place. And so he said, get good at referrals. So I did. I just kept it simple. I just got myself a book and I'd say, listen, you know, I've helped you save some money. Do you know anybody else who'd love to see me? Because everyone's got bills. And that's what I say now, is something basic. And then people started giving me referrals. And again, I was thinking, my God, I'm asking and I'm actually getting what I'm asking for. This is brilliant. This is working. Because the number one thing with referrals, most people don't get them because they don't ask. And you're never going to get them. You know, if you don't ask, you're never going to get. So the number one secret, guys, is ask, as most people don't. And if you ask with certainty and confidence, and you're confident and you're calm and you're polite, you will get referrals. And if you've done a good job with that person. So I got good at referrals, and referrals have changed my life. In fact, I should have a t-shirt which says, forget strong female, referrals change your life, because my whole SGL business is built on referrals. I haven't done a WAM since I was a team leader, and I liked WAMs. As you can imagine, I would be good on a WAM because I like talking to people and I wasn't afraid to go up to people. But I thought to myself, God, this is all right, but I don't want to be doing this every Saturday, you know, in rainy Wales. Wales is mostly rainy and dark and dank and grey, especially where I come from. And I thought, I don't want to be doing these WAMs. I want to be out there, enjoying myself. So I thought, I got to get better at those referral things that Derek Thomas told me. I don't do neighbour letters. Well, now I have done neighbour letters, but what I mean is I speak to the people directly in my neighbourhood. I don't knock doors. I don't do cold calling, knocking. That would petrify me. So I started getting good at referrals, and referrals have brought everything into my business. All the team members, most of the team members, everything I owe to referrals. The 5 holidays of a lifetime, changing my life, everything down to referrals. I mean, you know, I'm so passionate about them. And can I share a little lockdown story with you, Wes, about referrals?
Please do.
So, first of all, I've got my book. This has become, people know me now because I've done lots of trainings on referral. My referral book is called People to Help. Okay? People to Help. Not referral book. That's salesy. I'm not a salesperson. I'm an actress, okay? I'm a teacher. I'm not a salesperson. I'm not a business person. So my book is called People to Help. So what about getting a People to Help book? Since lockdown, I've had 100, so since March, at the end of March, 117 referrals, right? Since the end of March, I've signed up 26 Daffy Golds, which amounts to about 4 or 5 a month. So it's not major, but that's what I've always done, 4 or 5. So I'm really good at being consistent. And let me tell you this story. So at the start of lockdown, like everybody, I was thinking, oh my God, that's it now. Business is going to come to an end. How are we going to generate people? We can't see people. So I sat up here one stonkingly hot, sunny day in April, as it was. And I thought, right, what can I do? So I got up my People to Help book and I thought, right, who can I ring? I was like desperate. I thought, all these lovely people I've met. And I flicked across this one with Jan Palmer. She was a lovely lady, Wes, right? Now I signed her up on the 24th of September, 2018. Because when I sign them up, I always put their account number and their name, okay, and the date. 2018. And I remember her writing this name in my book, Eric and Sandra from Barry. Now, I used to live in Barry. And in brackets, she wrote Stella fan. So I thought, brilliant, I'll give them a ring. So I thought, now many people would have thought, well, I can't possibly ring Eric and Sandra because Jan Palmer gave me that referral 2 years ago. Who's going to ring someone from their referral book 2 years ago? Me, right? Because again, we have those, oh God, I can't do that, it was 2 years ago. Oh, but we just do it anyway. Can you feel the fear and do it anyway? So I picked up the phone, I rang this lady. Oh, where in Barry do you live? Blah, blah, blah. Built report, Stella, I love Stella, I talked about Stella. I said, can I, Jan thinks you'd love to see what I do. Yes, she said, Eric deals with the bills. He's the one you need to speak to. So Eric was the first customer I signed up on the remote appointment. Took hours. Okay, it took him nearly an hour just to get the internet browser on. And again, he was putting it in Google, and we had all these catastrophes, and it was brilliant. And I was pacing back and forth, thinking, this is it. The utility warehouse has come to the end, because if this is how simple it is or how complicated it is, we got no chance. So Eric and Sandra then gave me all these referrals, and from that one referral, right, from Eric and Sandra joining, from them and what happened after them till now, I've had 69 referrals as a result of calling Eric and Sandra. And I am now 10 Daffies into that one name, that Eric and Sandra, just them alone, just the referrals that they've given me, and they've given me 10 Daffies in. So 69 referrals, 10 Daffies, and from the rest of them, 117 referrals. From ringing one person in my book that was put there 2 years ago.
Now, I'm going to jump in here because I know that people are going to be thinking, right, all I need to do is work out who's going to be the Eric and Sandra in my book. And I think the point here is that you probably phoned more than just Eric and Sandra. Like, what we always, when we hear success stories, it's very important for us to realize we're hearing the good bit. There were probably a squillion other, non-Eric and Sandras who didn't answer, didn't say yes, said yes, but then didn't come back with anything, or blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So, don't be under the illusion that it's going to take just one call. No. And then you got that. It's lots and lots and lots of calls that you've now forgotten about that eventually led to one person who blah, blah, blah.
Absolutely. And like doing something every day. So I'm on this group with Craig Casey and Celia and some other SGLs, and we were like, right, we got to make some calls every day. So that's what I did. I got my diary, and every day I said I'm going to do at least 20 minutes. Because 20 minutes is like, you can cope with that in your head. You're not saying I got to do 2 hours, because I don't work like that. I've got to do things in small chunks. But what happens is, of course, 20 minutes then turns into an hour, because you get into a flow and you get more confident and you start getting results. And so 20 minutes ends up turning into longer, which turns into results, because, speak to 3, 1 will listen. Speak to 100, 33 will listen. Out of 33, 10 will join, 3 may become leaders, right? That's a statistic that I've written down. And remember, 85% of what you do will come to nothing. Nothing. 85%. But the 15% will change your life. And there's a change your life story there. Eric and Sandra, a referral from 2 years ago. But like Wes said, I did 85% where there was nothing. And then every day in my study here, I bought myself on lockdown, I bought myself a whiteboard, and I put the date down of when I make the calls, call back, no answer, yes, no. And you can see, and I do a little tally chart. And so, it was just about getting organised, setting myself a daily discipline. Did I want to do it? No. I never worked harder than on lockdown. Everybody, people, friends, family, has lockdown been brilliant? We've spent so much time in the garden. We spent so much time walking. I thought, my God, I've never worked harder than on lockdown, because, we've had to adapt, haven't we? We've had to come up with a new way. And as I said, unless you ride that wave, you're going to sink. You're going to go backwards. And we've seen it happen to so many people in our teams, in our business. So, it's about doing the activity, doing the stuff when the lights are off, as we say, when the lights are not shining on you, is what are you doing then? You get your stage, or you get asked to speak, to do a 5-minute, 2-minute testimonial at MAD or Express Day, or you get asked to be on one of, Justin's roundup videos, or Andrew's, it's the moments, Wes, isn't it, when no one's watching, no one cares, you don't want to do it, you're tired. It's like I said in one of my speeches, you've got to become a moth, a master of the F words: fear, frustration, failure, fatigue. And you've got to just power through. And I got loads of things in my office. I've shared this, other people, other calls, Zoom calls I've done like this, and I've shared with people one fear, and I talk about it in meetings, in events, in trainings. And I got stuff stuck up on the wall. Look, fear is the friend of extraordinary people. Things like this, just to trick myself. Stuff like, Stefan Longworth, what's my next move? So if you've had a frustration, if you're picking up the phone and you've had 5 no's, okay, what's my next move? Stuff like, does it make sense to lower your bills rather than keeping them high? So if I'm doing a remote appointment and that they're taking a bit of cajoling, a bit of work to get them over the line, it's because when you're flustered, you forget things. So I thought, if I put that up on my wall, that's Big Al, of course. If I put that up here, when I'm feeling a bit flustered on an appointment, I forget what to say, I can say that. And another one, because I don't like making calls, so little mantras like this: after I make calls, I feel amazing. I do. Before making the calls, I feel rubbish. I don't want to do them. I fear them. And it's about, tricking yourself, having all these little success stickers on your wall, or call them whatever you want, cheating your brain, convincing yourself, whatever. But things like that really help. And sort of having 15 minutes of focus, that if most people could discipline themselves to have 15 minutes of focus a day, would change their business. We often say on training, most people's problems in UW could be solved with more activity, because action cures fear, and action is the only thing that'll move you closer to your goals, dreams and ambitions.
It feels like, rather than being brilliant at UW, you're just consistent. And then therefore you're allowed to be brilliant, because you do so much stuff that isn't brilliant or doesn't work out, that a few things do work out.
Absolutely. People want to know what's the secret sauce to UW. And for my secret sauce is definitely passion and enthusiasm, because I think where's passion and enthusiasm trump skills any day, skills and knowledge. If you were passionate about what you're talking about, it's attractive. People are like, yeah, you're talking about the cashback card, and what you want is people are in the palm of your hands, or the light bulbs. I'm like, yeah, these light bulbs, they're fantastic, they're wonderful for the environment. It's your voice, it's your tonality. It's about being excited, even if you're not. Often you got to fake it till you make it, haven't you? So I think passion and enthusiasm trump skills any day. But my secret sauce absolutely is consistency. And this is the thing. Don't have one amazing month. Have 12 consistent months. And we see this so often, don't we, Wes? We have people join our teams and they're amazing and they're like out of the starting blocks, and you think, wow. And then 3 months later, they're gone, and you think, whatever happened to so-and-so? Whatever happened to her? God, remember her? In her first month, she did 37 daffy golds. Now she's gone. Where's she gone? She's gone to that zone, the new distributor land that we don't know where it is. They just disappear into thin air. But it's about being consistent and about getting better and putting your own personality onto things and failing to get better. Nothing's a failure, everything's a lesson.
Yeah. I when I congratulate people on whether it's a promotion, whether it's a good month or whatever else, once we've done the congratulations bit and the kind of the
learning to discipline your disappointments, and there's this great phrase which you can all use: cancel and continue, because we're on stage on a live performance, something goes wrong, you can't just stop the camera. You've got to cancel what just happened, and you've got to continue, because otherwise there's 1,000 people are going to know you've done a boo-boo. And it's like in this business, you know, someone says no, someone lets you down, someone doesn't turn up to an appointment, someone, you know, hides behind the curtains, your brother makes you cry on an appointment, you know, your brother-in-law thinks it's a scam, your friends laugh at you. You've got to cancel and continue and think. Motions, that's one of yours, Wes, isn't it, about killing distractions?
I'm sure I nicked it.
Doesn't matter, that's another one of yours. It's the same thing, cancel and continue, hold on to the rope, it doesn't matter. Whatever your mantra is, as Wes has said, it's that voice you listen to in your head, and it's about doing the stuff that no one else wants to do. Yeah. That is also the secret sauce. You know, the success is our wonderful quote that says, the successful person will just do the things that the unsuccessful person will not do. I am prepared to do today the things that others will not do in order to have tomorrow the things that others will not have. And that is sitting here making calls when you don't want to do it, because I never want to make calls, Wes, ever. You know, I got to 300 Plus Club last weekend, so I've made a lot of phone calls to get to 300 Plus Club. And not one of them have I ever come home and gone, oh, brilliant, I can't wait to make calls tonight. Mel, I can't wait to get home because I can't wait to pick up that phone. Never has that ever happened to me in my UW journey. I mostly procrastinate, don't want to do it, get on Mel's nerves, until in the end she says, for God's sake, get upstairs, make some bloody calls. And I'll come in here and I'll have a look, you know, at my quotes, and I'll have a think about my vision board or whatever turns you on, whatever floats your boat, whatever makes you pick up that phone, because God, this thing can feel so heavy.
Yeah.
But I never want to do it, but doing it changes your life. You know, it's the stuff that you don't want to do. There was
a pivotal moment for you in a gym or a swimming pool changing room.
Yes.
Where you had a kind of slide indoors moment. You had a choice.
Yeah.
Just tell us briefly about that moment.
So this was after the Mad 2011, when Andrew Lindsay said, tickets to the Olympics, best seats. At this time, money couldn't buy them, she couldn't buy them. You're going to have this, you're going to have a golden this, a 5-star this, and that, and that. And I was like, yeah, this is me, I'm going to do it. I never thought I'd do it. Anyway, I thought I'm going to smash this Olympic thing. I didn't really know what you had to do it, but I thought I'm just going to do some activity and start following the system. And then, and on the stage that day, someone else said, you know, you'll have moments where, you know, your moments will appear and you won't want to say something, but you should and you could. And those moments could be, you know, a sliding doors moment in your business. I think it was Andrew that said that. And the next week I was in the gym and I had my back to the changing room. So I was, you know, by the locker, and I kind of had my towel around me, you know, trying to keep it on me. And then there was these 2 old ladies behind me, and I knew they were old because I can tell by their voice. And it was like a sign from God or Andrew Lindsay. And they what were these 2 women talking about? Their bills. And I remember standing there thinking, my God, this is as if the company's planted this year now. I expected like Andrew Lindsay to pop out of one of the lockers in his jockeys and go, ha, I told you this would happen. And I remember like rummaging in my gym bag thinking, my God, that's what they said at the event, that like things will appear, you know, opportunities will present themselves, and it's about whether you take them or not, you know, what voice you listen to. And I remember thinking, this is ironic. This now is one of those moments. And I remember, you know, fiddling around in my bag thinking, am I going to say something? No, you know, they're in the gym, you're in the gym, you've only got a towel on, you're sweating, you don't look your best, you're new, you can't do it. And I remember thinking, come on, that bloody Olympic promotion. And I turned around, I remember thinking, yes, come on, just do it. and they were moaning about their gas bill, and the other one was saying, oh yeah, and my electricity bill and my phone bill, and it was, you know, it was like it was planted. And I just remember, right, just do it, just say something, do it now. And I turned around, butt naked, hands on their hips like that. Oh, and you won't believe about my gas bill, and you won't believe about this. And I remember thinking, oh my God, they're naked, and I didn't know where to look. I don't know where do I put my eyes, you know. So I thought, right, just look them straight in the eyes. Just don't put your eyes down at all. Just keep looking straight in the eyeballs. And then, so I said, oh, excuse me, ladies. I said, I hope you don't mind me interrupting you, but I heard you moaning about your bills. And as it happens, that's what I do. I help people save money on their bills. And immediately I thought, well, that's a laugh because you haven't signed up one person yet. Help people save money on your bills. You don't know what you're doing. And I just thought, and I said, I can help you with that. And they were like, oh, really? And I said, yeah, you know, I can help you with that. I can come and see you and look at you, see if I can save you some money. And they were like, oh, brilliant, love. What's your name? Claire. Oh, I've got a piece of paper. I go, yes. Turned around in my gym bag there. I was back and thinking, oh, bloody hell, quick, find a piece of paper. You know, all the kit was coming out. And I said, oh, I found like a scabby bit of something. And I said, oh, I haven't got a pen. And then as I said that, Betty, because that was her name, she turned around 180 degrees, bent over into her bag and picked up a pen. And she was naked.
Oh dear.
I'm thinking, my God, if getting appointments is this difficult, I'm going to quit again. You know, she turned around and bent over naked and to get a pen. So that, and they became, you know, they became two of my first customers, and they're still customers to this day. So yeah, lots of stories like that.
It doesn't have to be that traumatic.
No,
hey,
listen, naked.
Before we move on to the last couple of questions, just let me tell everyone that we are going to be replaying this tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Anyone that is on the mailing list will get details of that. I'll send that out probably tomorrow morning. If you are not on the mailing list, please do put yourself on there at weslinden.com/Sunday. And then you'll get all the details of that. We are also, where is it? Yes, we are also replaying the Chris Moon talk that we did from a few months back that was incredibly popular. Chris Moon, who lost a leg and an arm in landmines and then went on to run marathons and ultra marathons. Incredible guy. So don't miss that if you want to join us. That's a daytime one because so many people can't do evenings. I'm learning. So Thursday at 1 p.m. One thing I want to share with you, we're coming up to pretty much the last week and a half or 2 weeks where this is available. If you want to get an audio bundle, basically my audio books they're normally like 15 quid, but now you can get all 4 of them for 15 quid, including delivery. It's a little kind of pandemic offer really to help people keep pushing, keep moving themselves forward. So you can go to weslinden.com/bundles. So Claire, let me take you take you somewhere else. I'm going to put a little slide up right now. There's you and Mel in the middle. Mel, who keeps you vaguely and sane. And obviously with your lifestyle and growing up the way you did, and I can very much appreciate this myself, there's a fair chance that when you grow up knowing that you want to be with people of the same sex rather than the opposite sex, you then think, I probably can't have children. That's probably going to pass me by.
Yeah.
But that hasn't been your story in the last, year or so?
Yeah, year and a half. Yeah.
You've become mummy and mammy.
Absolutely, yeah. Life changing again, and yeah, we decided to adopt, and I remember another moment at Express Day a couple of years ago. We had the goal wall, wasn't it, Wes? And we actually broke the world record, didn't we?
Yes.
Where we all got given a little sticky brick, and we had to write on there what we wanted to achieve or do, and stick it on this wall at Express Day. And mine was, that was like my 2020 vision thing. There's the little thing on my office wall over there, actually. And yeah, so again, is be careful what you wish for, because it comes true. So we adopted our little Ava 18 months ago, and it's been absolutely life-changing and changes you in every way, emotionally, physically, everything. It's a massive change, and it's given me a newfound respect, actually, Wes, for all the mums and dads in my team who have done an incredible job in this business, as well as being full-time workers and full-time parents. It's given me a newfound respect for them, because when you've got a child to look after and consider, suddenly you can understand why people sometimes may put the UW ball down. So it's given me a newfound respect for everybody out there who does this business, and who are parents as well. And it's about making your child your reason, not your excuse. Somebody said that once, and boy, that rings so true with me now. And this business, I can definitely say that this business has been a part of that journey, because there's no way, if I was Claire Hingott 9 years ago, who I was before I joined this business, I would never have adopted a child. I just wouldn't have. I wasn't in the right mindset. I wasn't the right person. I wasn't right financially. So this business changes your life in so many ways, and no more is that true than by realizing the ultimate dream of becoming a parent with Mel. And that
I think it's incredible, of course, how, as you say, it just wouldn't have happened. There was a reasonably good chance it would never have been possible for you to even consider becoming a parent when you're not sure where your next teaching job's going to be, or not sure where your next acting job's going to be. And I think that's an incredible story, really.
Security and peace of mind and freedom, they're massive, massive things. And there's no way, I could have been a parent or thought about it where I was. As I said, it was very different then. And, this business, we change people's lives, and as I've said, we are makers of magic. We are, for our own lives and the lives that we touch, by just offering, to say, listen, I got something I want to show you. Whose life could you change? There's somebody out there. There's so many people out there now more than ever that there's a Claire Hingott that needed something, was looking for something. And, it's in those moments it's in those moments of magic. What's the quote? In those moments of...
In moments of decision,
then destiny is shaped. And freedom, there is no price you can put on owning yourself. Paula Pritchard says that, that wonderful book, Owning Yourself, by Paula Pritchard. When you own yourself, thanks to this business and residual income, that is life-changing. We don't sell gas and electric, phone and broadband, we change people's lives. And look, we're paying to becoming a parent, to becoming a mother at 45, to not having money worries. I'm a fledgling SGL. I've been SGL just over 2 years. I'm not at your level, whereas I'm nowhere near. But what I want people to know is you don't have to be in the business for 18 years or 20 years or 16 years or be an SGL 24 star for this business to change your life. It was changing my life months in, thanks to your personal development. When you own your life, when residual income in your business reaches a point where you are free, it takes so much pressure, and that's why it's our duty to share. We don't sell, we share, don't we? Don't sell, don't tell, share the good news of what we do, because through this business. And And so many lives will be touched by what you do, what you show people, the people that you bring into to this opportunity. And, you just want it, you just wish everybody saw it like you, and you go through those frustrations, and you want everybody to get to where you are or see what you see. Because when your life is very different to what it once was, then, you can make choices, because life is all about choices, and this business gives you choices. And being a parent is certainly has been that choice for me, and it's been incredible. Not always easy, but it's incredible.
This comes in part, obviously, getting customers and the quip and the referrals you talked about is amazing, but ultimately building a team and growing that residual income is where this lifestyle really comes from. But was there ever a time where, we know there's times where you thought it wasn't going to work, but what do you tell yourself at those times where you decide it's not going to work? How did you then, just give us in a couple of sentences how you kept moving?
For me, it was the fear. It was the fear of staying the same. It wasn't the gain for me. It was the pain. People fear it's either the gain, they fear losing something, but for me it wasn't that. It was the fear of going back to where I was, and that kept me pushing forward. And I just thought, no, I can't. My life can't keep going in the cycle that it's going. I don't want to be 36, 37 and still asking my mum and dad to pay my mortgage. And I just thought, no, just keep going to the events, keep turning up, keep reading the books, keep meeting the people who tell you that it's worth it. I remember seeing you, Wes, and our other, trailblazers, as I call you, listening to your stories and thinking, no, come on, if it worked for Wes, if it worked for this person, for that person, for Steve, for difficult then, because we didn't have what we got now. When I joined, we got £20 to £40 a customer and the residual income. We didn't have Quip. So people can get to where they want to get to quicker with Quip than what we did. But as you said, the true freedom is in building a team and building up that residual income. And I just really wanted to prove myself wrong as well. I quit and I thought, no, I want to keep going. I don't want to be the story of failure, of just giving in. And I just, with every book I read, with every event I went to, I just got more tenacious. I just got a bit thicker skin, and I made friends. When I felt down, I'd ring people and they would tell me that it was worth it. Now that's the person I am. People ring me and I tell them that it's worth it. I tell them that the fear and the frustration and everything is going to be worth it. And if you keep going long enough and you keep your goals and dreams bigger than your problems and your distractions, I really believe you can get to where you want to be. Look at my start. If your goals and dreams are bigger than your fears and your problems, and it is about being disciplined, and it is about having moments of focus where you do sit down and you do go to work, and that isn't on the portal, that isn't booking yourself onto it. That we're talking about golden activity, picking up this damn phone when you don't want to do it, speaking to people when you don't want to do it, jumping out of your comfort zone, learning a new skill, doing a remote appointment when you don't really want to do one, and just finding your way and not comparing yourself to anyone, because there's a great quote that says, compare despair. Run your own race. Yeah, watch what other people in other lanes are doing and dip into their lane if they're doing something that you want to know about. Or she's in that lane and actually she's good at that. Let me go and ask her about that. But run your own race. Keep your own goals right there. Block out the distractions and have fun, because there's a lot of sadness out there. And this business can be lonely, it can be frustrating. You've got to find the fun, and thank God there's a lot of people in our organisation who love a bit of fun, and that's what you've got to find. You've got to find the fun. You've got to find your way, and you've got to keep going no matter what, and never quit on a bad day. Never quit on a bad day. Never quit on a bad day. Easier said than done, but don't ever do it. Think, what's my next move? Who can I ring? What can I do? Who can I call? You know, when I'm having a bad moment, that's sometimes when I do reach for the phone. When I think, right, come on, how can I turn this around? How can I turn this tragedy into something better? Because, as my little sticky note says up there, after I make calls, I feel amazing. And it's true. So it's about sticking with it, go and getting it, and having goals that are important to you and your why story that drives you on.
Yeah. Claire, it has been an absolute pleasure this evening. I'm going to open up the comments now. So if anyone wants to share a message with Claire, please do about your thoughts. One place I would love you to share a message, if you are on it, is on the Facebook forum. If you do go on there, please don't just say, oh, I really enjoyed that chat with Claire. Tell people why. Tell people what was your takeaway, what was your light bulb moment, because then that helps 15,000 people that get to read it. So if you do go on the forum and you are going to say something nice, please make sure you tell people why you loved it. So we'll be doing this again tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. If you want to, well, you might want to join us again, but certainly if you've got team members that didn't make it, please do pop them, make sure they join us tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. Claire, I normally end by asking people, is it worth it? But I think you've answered that.
No, give it up quick. I'm off. I'm going to join Tupperware. I'm off.
I think you've answered that about 10 times, absolutely, in many different ways. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you with us. You are a strong female, as it says on your T-shirt. You are a strong leader in our business, senior group leader, 300 plus. You are an actress. Do it now, isn't it? You don't have to do it, and that's
you don't have to go to the rubbish auditions anymore.
Yeah.
Can I just say, Wes, it's been an absolute honour, privilege to be asked to be on your Sunday night with Wes. I can't believe it when you asked me. I thought, wow. So thank you everybody for staying tuned in. Thank you for listening. And if you did fall asleep, thank you for not snoring and muting yourself. Thank you everybody so much. And thank you, Wes, for asking me. I'm honoured.
Not at all. Great to have you with us. And the final thing I was going to say that you most certainly are, is you are a great mum, and Ava's going to have a wonderful life with you.
Oh, thank you.
We think huge amounts of you, and we can't wait to see you in the flesh again sometime in the future, although not like we saw Betty in that show.
Definitely not. I can't wait for a big purple hug from all our purple family. We need some purple love, don't we, Wes, from our purple army?
Thanks very much to everyone for joining us. We look forward to seeing you again next Sunday, where I have another top guest for you. You'll find out who it is during the week. Claire, thanks very much. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, everyone. No star. Diolch i chi. Thank you, Wes.